Today we play Octillery. For 2 energy, Octillery deals 50 damage and forces the opponent to flip a coin in order to attack. If tails, the attack does nothing. Unlike similar attacks such as Weezings, Manectrics, or Magmortars, which only take effect for the opponent's next turn, Octillery's effect is persistent for as long as the opponent's Pokemon stays in the active spot. In other words, Octillery's effect works exactly like Confusion, with 2 exceptions. First, it cannot be healed with cards like Pokemon Center Lady like Confusion. And second, it can affect even Arceus, which is immune to all standard status conditions. As such, the only 2 ways to get rid of Octillery's attack effect are by evolving or retreating the Pokemon back to the bench. Because of this, I found one of Octillery's best partners to be Kingdra, whose attack prevents the opponent from retreating. Well, unless they have Lyra, Ilima, Celesteela, or Solgaleo, but still. However, I still wanted to try something more here to make a truly fun Octillery deck. If you're able to stack Octillery's attack effect with another condition like Sleep, Confusion, or a different damage prevention effect, then your opponent will have to flip 2 coins just to be able to attack. So after a short search, these were the main candidates I could consider for such shenanigans. But because most of them need either too many cards or too much energy, I decided to go with the Chatot that most people probably don't remember exists. In today's deck, we ink them, confuse them, and then trap them. By combining a variety of inflictions with Kingdra, we aim to trap our opponents while they struggle to fight back. And for just a little bit of extra fun, I couldn't resist adding a Poison Barb here to add to the cocktail of status effects. But honestly, you're probably better off replacing it with Irida, Lily, or a second Giant Cape. Unfortunately, this deck can be kinda slow, especially going first, and Octillery only has 100 HP, so you are sometimes a bit too reliant on the coin flips to go your way. However, this is kind of a problem with water decks going first in general, and I don't expect it can be improved much until we get something like Azurill to function like Pichu or Magby for water types. But in the end, I still had a lot of fun trapping opponents cursed by the coin flips. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and consider subscribing for more fun of meta decks. I also take deck requests. Is there any card you want to see played in Master Ball rank? Let me know in the comments and I'll build a deck around it. With that said, check this deck out in action and enjoy the games. Okay, going second against Celebi. Surely they're probably not too happy about that. Starting with Celebi with no research and no Pokeball, going first. Kinda sucks. I've been there. So I don't really want to get red carded here. I guess it's not the worst. But I really like this Octillery here. So doing some math, Octillery is at 100. So it would get knocked out by two heads from Celebi. I doubt they're gonna go straight for Celebi here, unless they really have no other choice. But if they do, interesting, this is a Giant Cape, not a Leaf Cape, so they probably have non-grass Pokemon here. So yeah, they might go for Celebi after all. In which case, I really like this Octillery start here. And Horsey is a very welcome addition. Just gonna go with the Octazooka. If they don't play any Pokemon, I could possibly go to Chatot and confuse them to make it a 25% chance of even attacking. But the problem is the retreat cost of 2. I don't feel comfortable not only losing the 2 energy, but also losing the 40 damage difference there. But you know what? Since they don't have another Pokemon, I'm just gonna go for it, I think. Research is also really good. Well, if they don't, if I get the Kingdra, I might as well power up the Kingdra. Right, in this case, screw Chatot. I can kind of win. Oh, no, not going to play that after all. I can kind of win next turn. Not necessarily next turn, but pretty much. Since this effect will persist even after I switch to Kingdra. So interesting, they get a communication Exeggutor. In which case, why the Giant Cape though? Oh man. Kinda hurts to be in their shoes. But they can just retreat, right? I'm just gonna go for it anyway. They cannot retreat like this, of course. I'm just gonna go with this. Even if they manage to hit me, I poison them and then it goes down, unless they have another Erica or potion. Okay. Okay then. So I'm kinda... Alright. See, the 2 heads, not too shabby. But yeah, it gets poisoned. And now the thing is, they go to Exeggutor EX, right? Well, I am a little bit afraid of Cyrus. So there's a very fair chance to keeping the Kingdra and just continuing to attack it. But since it has a high retreat cost, I can kinda just be super annoying to them. Right? I am a little bit more tempted to go to Chatot first because it has a retreat cost of 1. In that case, no, let's go with the Octillery. Deals a little bit more damage. So yeah, now ink them again. I don't think... Maybe they could run Lyra. I think there's a very fair chance they run Will as well. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I'll sacrifice a Remoraid if I need to. So okay, they flip 2 heads and knock out my Remoraid. But now this is kind of convenient because I don't need to pay for the retreat cost anymore. I'll just go to Chatot. And now I'll confuse them. Right? So now they are both confused and inked. So that's pretty funny. And now I can just trap them again with the Kingdra. I mean, it's kind of risky, sure. Well, to be honest, it's not that risky because they would kind of need to flip 3 heads. They will need to flip 3 heads to actually win this. So I'm just gonna go for it. Just a Mars for good measure. Right? Maybe it's not needed because it gives them a fair chance of getting the second Erica. But second Erica doesn't really do much. So there you go. Now this is the cocktail that I love. Confused, can't retreat, has to flip another coin. And they do get the second Erica. But I trust my chances of them not rolling 3 coin flips in a row. With heads, since it can't retreat anymore even. Okay, 1 heads. Now the confusion still managed. For a moment there I thought I was actually gonna lose there. So yeah, I didn't really need to do this, but it's much funnier, isn't it? So yeah, GG. But all in all, I do feel the pain of starting at Celebi turn 1 without any research or Pokeball. Not an ideal start from them. Okay, I'm gonna go with research first. Try to get more basics. Okay, not quite. You get the Remoraid at least. But this is an issue with this deck. It's just going first. It's just so slow. It feels so slow. But water decks in general don't have a great answer to going first other than like Crobominable or a Lucky Misty, I suppose. Can try to go with this. I'm not sure if I should Poison Barb anything. If they do go with the Greninja, I kind of want to Poison Barb with the Chatot. Right, let's try it. Because right now, like Greninja would be really bad. Right, there's a fair chance they have Sylveon maybe. Well, I think they would have used it. Oh no, yeah, they can only use it this turn. So they do have the Greninja and the Sylveon. Cyrus would also be very annoying. And also the Giratina. But I guess no Psychic Energy there could be really good. So yeah, they get poisoned. Start hitting my Octillery. If they retreat, that means they can't attack with anything else. So I'm just gonna go with this. And now hope we get a Kingdra. This is kind of why I wanted the poison, because at 120 HP, I really needed something to deal that 20 damage chip for Octillery to attack twice here. If I survive this Mist Slash. Well, even if I don't, technically a Horsey can finish off the Greninja. There you go. Octillery coming in clutch. No more Greninja for you. And now we get a Kingdra, which is also delicious. I'm not quite sure though if I should Mars here. They still have another Sylveon and another Research. I feel like I should. But I only really have one more Mars and one Cyrus as supporters. And I think it could be fine to be a little bit greedy for next turn to take out another card from them. So what do I expect them to bring out? Let's Mars. Try to reduce their chances as much as possible here, because they can't really bring in an EX to the front now. With the Kingdra here, ready to trap it. And this Giratina is far from ready, right? So, and they have been getting pretty unlucky with the energies, only getting water. And another water there. Unless they're only running water, which would be kind of wild. But bringing in Giratina is just about the worst one that they could have brought. Right? Because now they can't even retreat it. So yes, I'll take the Giratina trap. Threatening 180 over these 2 turns. I'll take it. So now what? As much healing as they might have, I'll just continue attacking. You still need 2 more Psychic Energies. And there you go. Octillery actually being really useful on that one specific coin flip. But they did get kind of unlucky with the energies there. Okay, going second against Zubat. Please not research. Not like this. Not like this. So this is really bad. One of the things of my off-meta decks is that I don't have a lot of space for supporters, right? Off-meta decks are kind of by definition not super optimized, or not as optimized as meta decks, which have fewer Pokemon and a lot of supporters. And so that makes it so that Penny is actually great against off-meta decks because it has a higher chance of getting the research. Okay, maybe I was too greedy here. Because I have the X speed, I could have gone for the Remoraid in the back. It was much safer. Because if they have the Crobat, I lose a Pokemon here, which is really bad. And now I might even have to resort to Chatot here. So that was a misplay. Do not be greedy if you have the X speed. If you don't, you might not have much of a choice. But yeah, in this case, I can only really confuse them. They could like switch. They could switch out to Zubat or even Eevee. And then come back with the Crobat next turn. But I think they'll be greedy and continue attacking. There you go. Not too bad, I suppose. There's a research, which could be nice. Getting a Horsey, that's good. Although, no rare candy yet. So I'm just gonna go with Tone Deaf again. Now, surely they should retreat. And I'll probably use Mars next turn. Especially now that I know they have another basic stuck in their hand. They do hit this one though. So I pretty much have to go with Octillery. Which pretty much forces them to retreat. And I can go with Mars here as well. This deals 90, right? If it hits, although it only has a 25% chance of hitting. No point in using Giant Cape, I think. I'm just gonna hit it for 50. So now this Crobat is confused and still has to flip another coin to attack. And they use a Lily here to heal it up. But surely they must not attack here. They do. So they fail. And yeah, no attack for you. There's a rare candy for me. So I'm gonna go ahead with Kingdra here. And if I am actually able to hit this... No, if they actually keep the Crobat in the active spot, which would be a huge mistake. Even with another Lily, I can just trap it and it has a 25% chance of hitting any attack. So yeah, they do finally switch this Nihilego, which is still a problem because I still lose to Cyrus, which they definitely have in their deck. So let's go Pokeball. I'm just gonna XP it out to conserve 1 energy here. I still don't see any point in a Giant Cape. Not right now, at least. So if they don't have any more healing, they can't really bring in the Crobat. They need the Cyrus pretty much to win. I think they're sacrificing the Zubat as a way to buy 1 more turn to get the Cyrus, especially with this research. I don't like my chances now. Unless I get my own Cyrus, actually, which is a 1 in 5. So if I get my own Cyrus, I would win. This is kind of a Cyrus race just at this point. So yeah, it doesn't really matter what they attack with. If they have any more Pokemon, I think it could make sense to use EV instead. Unless they already have the Cyrus in hand. So yeah, moment of truth. 5 cards in hand, 4 in the deck. Do you have the Cyrus? Unfortunately, yeah, 2 cards in the deck and one of them is Cyrus for me. And okay. Seems like we were both kind of equally unlucky in having the Cyrus at the bottom. But they could have played better. They could have retreated that Crobat a lot of times and they were just greedy. Even when it was at a 25% chance of hitting an attack, they just tried it one more time. That was kind of bonkers. They could have just switched to Eevee, for example, find a friend, and that would have been better. Okay, going second with the Remoraid. Not a great hand here. I don't think there's any point in Giant Cape right now. Other than trying to play around red card a little bit. But honestly, with a hand like this, I don't mind too much getting red carded. It might even help. Do they have the Sylveon here? Apparently not. Oh. You know what? Cyrus is a bit too important. But since I'm also bricking, I kind of need to delay them even more. Unfortunately, they have more ways to unbrick than I do because of Sylveon. And if I had gotten the Octillery, I would have actually gotten 1 point right here. Not necessarily, I would have possibly gone for Eevee. But I would have had the possibility at least doing something. So yeah, not great, or really actually awful. I hate this. They do have 0 energy, but what do I even do with this? Okay, so they find a friend. I still really want that Octillery. This is gonna be either... They have 2 Greninjas, 2 Sylveons, and 1 Giratina. So find a friend just gave them one of those. And look, this is so awful. I'm gonna Giant Cape just because of Sylveon. Although this is really awful. It's like we're both breaking, but they have the find a friend. And now they can unbreak probably with the Sylveon. Oh. Maybe they help. There's a research and Octillery. Mars can actually be really good. I'm gonna use Mars right away. Screw the research. They've been drawing too much. Right? And now with Octillery, I can actually finally deal some tiny bit decent damage. Not enough to knock out this Eevee, but now even Find a Friend has only a 50th chance of working. Okay, I gave them a research, but they had a almost full hand anyway, so I still prefer this. And there's a Greninja, which is also very annoying. They did cure the effect from Octillery, so I can get hit for 90 damage here, which is really bad. I do have the Giant Cape, luckily, so I won't go down to another Shuriken next turn. But definitely not looking great without the horses here. Even a horsey at this point is possibly a liability. They'll just Shuriken the horsey and then Cyrus it and get rid of it too quickly. And now, yeah, because I was kind of forced to use the Cyrus, maybe not forced, I could have kept it, but I think the rationale was fine to delay them with Cyrus. Maybe it would have been more fine if I had two Cyrus in the deck, but I didn't really feel like I had much of a choice here. Fortunately, they still only really have 2 energy on the board, so they can't retreat to attack with something else, which possibly gives me... Ooh. Okay, this can be bad. Fortunately, Cyrus is still not an immense option for them right here. I'm just gonna go with Remoraid. But right now, I would honestly like to get a... I wouldn't mind the Octillery, but I can just go with Kingdra too, if I don't get the Octillery. And then after taking out an EX, I'll just drop whatever comes next, right? And at this point, I cannot play any other basic, otherwise I lose the game. So this Kingdra will have to win by itself, which I'm not really sure is enough. Haven't done the math. I'll get hit by basically 90 per turn. So yeah, I don't actually think it's enough. I get hit by 90 damage. Oh, wait. Yeah, this Sylveon is at 100, actually. So if it gets poisoned, it goes down in 1 hit. And I win. They will need a heal here. Even a Giant Cape is enough. Second Greninja is good, but is it enough? Oh, they do have an Irida. So yeah, without that heal, I would have won this incredibly. But yeah, this is the point where I'm not saying this deck is the best version you could possibly have, because when you rely on Kingdra as a finisher, you should probably have Lily to help it out. Or maybe a Nyrita could be a good fit here as well to help out with the Octilleries and such. But yeah, all in all, I made a version to have a bit more fun with, but I admit that you probably might want a Lily or a Nyrita instead of Poison Barb. Even though Poison Barb sometimes really helps with some specific thresholds for damage, because Kingdra doesn't hit that hard, and it can use some help in terms of extra damage. And the poison does synergize with like Kingdra's abilities and the Chatot's and Octillery's abilities as well. But I could use some healing here. In this case, the X-Speed was even worse, but I do really like X-Speed for other situations. But maybe taking out the X-Speed is another option too. So yeah, GG.